Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rob. Welcome to Freelance Health and Physical Therapy. How you doing today? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. I had a couple of cups of coffee and I'm feeling good. I hope you're feeling as good as I am right now. Today, on part 1 of episode 2 of Sacred Beef, where we take sacred cows and use science raising to turn them into sacred beef, we're going to be talking about stretching. Stretching is something that I love to debunk. There's so much nonsense about stretching. Stretching is just like... This is going to be a pretty thorough presentation, so if you don't have a lot of time and you don't want to stick through the whole thing, let me break the whole thing down into a TLDR ADHD version right here. Ready? Here we go. Stretching. It doesn't do much. It can be useful for improving flexibility. That's true. It can be useful for reducing pain. That's also true. It does improve circulation just like any other kind of exercise modality. However, it's inferior to walking and strength training and all those other good things. It doesn't lengthen muscles, doesn't reduce soreness. It's a terrible warm-up for working out. It doesn't prevent injuries. In fact, it even makes you weaker. It makes you acutely weaker, which if anything makes you more likely to have an injury. Because of the minimal benefits you get from stretching, I would also classify it potentially as a waste of your time if your goal is to improve your strength, improve your function, improve your performance. There are so many better things for you to do with your time than to stretch. And that's all I gotta say about that. There's a cornucopia of evidence to back up all these different claims that I just made. We'll go into that during this presentation, but before we do that, let's go over the definition of stretching that we're gonna be using for the sake of this presentation and that they used in the research that I consulted for this presentation. The stretching that we're talking about for this presentation is static stretching, where you move into a position where you experience tension in a muscle and you hold that for 15 or 30 or 60 seconds. Also, let's talk about the claims that people make about stretching. People say that stretching improves flexibility and boosts performance. People say stretching is a good warm-up. People say stretching prevents injury. People say stretching can be used to reduce muscle soreness after working out. People say stretching lengthens muscles and collagen and connective tissue. People say it improves circulation. And people say that stretching also reduces pain. So those are the claims. Let's talk research. So the first claim is that stretching improves flexibility. Clearly that's true. It does actually improve your flexibility. Phil Page in 2012 did a study where he summed up all the research and laid it out nice and clean. It does improve flexibility, sure. But there are some caveats to that. Kay and Blazevich in 2012 did a systematic review where they looked at 106 different studies and they found that if you hold a stretch for longer than 60 seconds, it's gonna make you weaker. It's gonna make those muscles that you're stretching incompetent. It makes them less capable of generating force. So the problem there is that stretching does improve flexibility, but it also makes you weaker. If you have more flexibility but less strength, what you have is you have instability. You're setting yourself up for an injury. Oh, we don't play that game. Kay and Blazevich's study leads nicely into the question of, does stretching boost your performance? I would say clearly not. Based on the study that I just cited, knowing that stretching is going to make you weaker, how could that possibly boost your performance for anything? So again, static stretching is not going to boost your performance and it's not a good warm-up. There's research that shows that static stretching before working out is not a good idea. It doesn't help. If you want to warm up, do a dynamic warm-up, not static stretching. That leads to the next question. Does static stretching reduce the likelihood of injury? No. No, it doesn't, okay? It doesn't do that. Hard in 2005 did a systematic review where they looked at static stretching and injury prevention and they found that it doesn't. It does not prevent likelihood of injury. And then Laursen et al. In 2014 did a systematic review and they found that of all the different things that you can do before working out, static stretching is the only thing that doesn't prevent injury. Right? So not only does it not prevent injury, it's like one of the only things that doesn't prevent injury, which I think is hilarious. I think that's so rich. Okay, so then is stretching good for reducing soreness after working out, also known as DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness? No, no, it doesn't do that. Herbert and Gabriel did a study in 2002 where they found that static stretching after working out and in the days following can reduce your soreness by about 1%. Plus or minus a couple of percentage points. In light of that information, let me ask you this. How much time are you willing to spend to to reduce any kind of soreness that you earned by 1%, maybe. And also, let me ask you this: why? You know, I feel robbed. I feel like a big baby when I don't get sore after working out. I don't like that. So I'm sure as heck not gonna be going and stretching and doing stuff that's gonna reduce that sweet, sweet, painful nectar by even 1%. It's fine. Learn to navigate those waters. You jumped off the boat into those waters. Learn to swim. Learn to swim. Pain's okay. You can have pain. Pain is one of the ways that your body lets you know that you're alive and that you did some work. If you're concerned about being sore after working out and you're looking for ways to make it less painful, try dirt. Rub a little dirt in it. You know, toughen up. Okay, so then does stretching make a muscle longer? No. It doesn't. So Konradin Tilt did a study in 2014, and what they found was while static stretching improves flexibility and range of motion, it's not because you're actually lengthening the muscles. What you're doing is you're altering sensory patterns. What static stretching does is it modulates nociceptive nerve endings. Nociceptors are the nerve endings that are responsible for information about discomfort, pain, tickling, noxious stimuli, things that are unpleasant. So when you do static stretching and you move into that position of discomfort, what you're doing is you're signaling in your body and you're saying, hey, this is okay. We signed up for it. I'm okay with it. And then your brain and your muscle are like, oh, okay, cool. We'll allow it. You can go a little further next time. And then you can go a little bit further. It's not stretching the muscles. The muscles are not saltwater taffy. You're not changing any kind of mechanical properties per se, except by altering the way the nervous system treats that structure. There was also another study by Freitas and Mendez and a couple other people in 2017 that supports those findings. That wasn't the once-off study. They've done that study multiple times, and they find that it is the flexibility improvements from static stretching are not from a mechanical property being altered. It's from the neurological appreciation of those stretched structures. It's cool. I think that's super cool. It's way cooler than, oh yeah, my muscle is a bungee cord and I just stretched it out real good. That's so stupid and boring. The human body is so cool, dude. Like, it's so cool, and we have all these interesting mechanisms at play all the time. I love that the truth is smarter than our muscles are just like red goo that pulls on stuff. So much cooler than that. We're these like weird electric monkeys. I think that's I think it's so cool, man. Okay, so next up then, does stretching realign collagen and tendons and muscle fibers and all those other things? No, I mean, we just went over the research that shows that flexibility improvements gained from static stretching it's not a mechanical property that's altered. It's that the muscle learns to relax and to be less sensitive and less terrified of that high tension position. Maybe there is some research out there. I didn't find any research on that particular notion. If you do find research on that and you can throw it my way that suggests one way or the other, I would love to read it. I would absolutely love to read it. But again, static stretching, it does not produce a mechanical effect. It's fine. Please don't get emotional about this. It's just the truth. It's just reality. It's just the facts. Now, the problem with research is that research can go both ways. There's clowns on both sides of the aisles. Everybody's got a bias, right? This is my bias. My bias is, hey, these things have a way of working themselves out. Or, hey, you don't need to spend $1,000 a month to see some guy with an overblown degree that's gonna tell you your body's broken and he's a wizard and he's the only guy that can fix it because he's got a magic wand because he's got a degree that's really expensive. I'm more like, hey, wake up, have a good morning routine, eat a breakfast, take care of your body, work out, have a sense of humor, get a good night's sleep, repeat. Keep your head screwed on tight and facing the right direction. That's what I'm about. None of this other ooby-dooby magic, none of this other like super technical crap. Humans have been recovering from injuries for I don't know, more than 2.5 million years. Modern humans, not quite that long, but humans, yeah. Yeah, we're real old. We're real old because we've been alive for a long time. And we've been alive for a long time because we can recover from injuries. It ain't rocket surgery, Jack. Don't think it is. Okay, so another claim about static stretching is that you can use it to improve circulation. Of course you can. Of course you can. And really you don't need to cite research for that. Static stretching is exercise. It's wimpy exercise, but sometimes that's all the exercise you can do. If you're bedbound, if you're a cardiac patient, if you just had a stroke or something like that, and you need to be cognizant of your blood pressure and your heart rate and loading in your limbs, static stretching can be great. It is certainly better than doing absolutely nothing, which is kind of damning it with faint praise. Is it going to improve your circulation as much as taking a walk? No, most certainly not. Is it going to improve your circulation as much as going for a bike ride or going for a climb or going to the gym and lifting weights? No. What planet is this? That brings us to the last major claim of stretching, which is that it reduces pain. Does it reduce pain? Yeah. Keenan et al. In 2008 did a study where they compared strength training to static stretching, and they found that both programs are effective at reducing neck pain. A good question to ask though is, who ended up with a stronger neck afterwards? Who ended up less likely to have more pain in the coming years? And what other benefits are gained from a strength training program versus a stretching program? There's another study that I really like here by Sherman et al. In 2011 where they compared a traditional stretching program to, you guessed it, yoga. And I love this study because yoga is one of those sacred cows that I cannot wait to turn into a burger buffet. It's gonna be great. So stay tuned for that. Sherman et al. In 2011, what they did find is that a traditional low back stretching program has the same effect as a yoga program. So let me say that one more time for the people in the back of the room. Yoga and traditional stretching programs are the same. They have the same effect on low back pain, which makes sense because that's all yoga is. It's meditative exercise. Okay, so let me summarize. Stretching is okay. It has some effects. It doesn't do a lot of the stuff that people claim. The effects that it does have are based on the neurological feedback. They work on the neurological level, not the structural, mechanical level. Now that you know, that I know, that you know what I know, you can keep stretching. That's fine. If you got a stretching program that you really like, that's effective for you, and you get good results and you enjoy it, you can keep doing that. Doesn't make you evil, doesn't make you stupid. I just wanted to make sure that we're all clear on what stretching actually does. We're good. We're good. Tune in next time for part 2 of episode 2 of Sacred Beef. We're gonna go over the points that I went over in this episode, but we're gonna talk about how to actually meet those ends. So, how to improve flexibility, how to warm up, how to prevent injuries, how to reduce pain, how to realign collagen and muscle fibers. Oh, God. So stupid. I'll give you a hint on that one. It doesn't involve a foam roller. It's easier than you think. Okay, that's it. Like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, ask a question. I want this to be a community effort. And remember our mantra, stronger all day, every day.